Adam Nolan is a very important voice in Irish jazz and Irish music in general, and I hope he continues what he's doing for many, many years to come.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much in this for the future and the present of modern day jazz and free jazz. I love creating this music. It's something I'm very passionate about, and I can't get enough of it, to be honest. I wish I had more bodies that I could just use to explore it more. It's the coolest thing in the world, in my opinion, and I'm so lucky to be able to play it for people. And yeah, it's been a trip.
I started working with Adam nearly 13 years ago now. We spent a lot of time since then working in different brass sections in different projects and various different bands over the years. So we know each other quite well at this stage, probably even a bit too well after all these years. Adam is obviously a great musician. He's very intuitive and creative. Even when it comes to playing within a section, he's always looking for ways to make our parts sound better and fit the group better. I've really enjoyed watching Adam develop as a musician over all these years. His free jazz work is what I think he loves the most. I think he's at the place he's meant to be when he's on stage creating music through improv, but Adam shines the most at this when doing it with other musicians. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes from Adam next, and I'm sure we will be working together in some projects in the future also. Take care, Adam.
Yeah, like I've released 18 albums. Pretty proud of a lot of them, you know. Some sick ass albums there. Expanding the consciousness, subtle hints, out there. This is Irish jazz. The Great Conjunction. It is what it is. Are You Free? That's fucking kick-ass. God's Planet, also kick-ass. Yeah, I found myself falling down a weird spiral I never thought I would have fallen down. And that was me being so obsessed with this dream to be a free jazz musician in Ireland, of all places in the world. You know, free jazz in Ireland doesn't make sense whatsoever. I'm a glitch in the matrix, you know, and I intend to stay that way, but I want to get paid more. I want to get paid loads. Do you have any money? Music. That's why I'm here.
Adam, I think, is a super creative guy and a really unique musician. I would describe Adam as authentic. I would say that he loves creating and he loves his crafts and he lives the life of a creative artist.
What it's done for me. I could go on and on. Being a spiritual being and playing jazz isn't an easy path. There's a lot of being hard on yourself, peeling back the layers, refinement, going outside and coming back to yourself. In my book, Destroy Yourself enough times until you realise you don't have to, I wrote some of my thoughts and mindsets, a deep book for deep thinkers. Okay, let's talk about music.
it's all about the music. And we got into music around the same time, and we had all of the same kind of interests, like, you know, Alice in Chains, AC/DC, until he started to go in a different direction and branch more into jazz. And I only ever dabbled in jazz, dipped my foot in it. But like, from where I'm standing, Adam has always been a massive inspiration. He was always the guy who, like, again, when we were younger, if there was something that we thought was maybe a little bit dangerous, or like, you know, so we wanted to jump, like literally jump onto something or into something or whatever, and we'd kind of be thinking, oh, maybe we shouldn't, like, is that a bit dangerous? Adam would just do it. He would just do it, jump, not literally head first, but like, you know, just to either show that it's safe or just to test it out for us or whatever. But that's what he does with his music, with his art. He's an artist. He's not just a musician.
So out of all my albums, I think the rawest is It Is What It Is. At the time, I had such fun just telling everyone about it. When it was coming out, I wanted to share it with everyone and everything. And it was just an absolute pleasure to have Graham Heaney on double bass and Tom Corcoran on drums for this album. The two of them were amazing. It was our first time playing together. We recorded the full experience, and it was 3 amazing tracks. So yeah, check them out. Check these out.
I feel like this album is one of the ones that's just going to wake people up. Like the cover of the album as well, I think says a lot. It expresses like that kind of, yeah, come on, wake up, this is it. It is what it is. This is music, this is sound, and all we have to do is just learn how to work with it, you know, and just learn to work with that energy and express it fluidly, and that nothing holds back. Let's just go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
Hello, how you all doing? My name is Tom Corcoran, and I'm making this clip for Adam Nolan about his new movie about his life, and a documentary about his life. First played it with Adam back in 2020, and that was in October, I think sometime in October, and we done an album, It Is What It Is. And on that day, Adam, me, Graham Heaney, bass player from Dublin, great bass player, he just sandwiched me and Adam together really well. And the engineer that day was Martin Drennan, Adam's right-hand man. And it was just great playing with him. I remember I got there, I pulled up, and Adam was there. I think he was meditating. And I was like, I remember saying to Graham, how are you, man? How are you keeping? And he was like, yeah, do you know what we're playing? And I said, I haven't a clue. No, he didn't give me any instructions. And he said, what do you think we're going to play? And Adam was like, I think he told Martin, tell us not to be talking, that he didn't want us getting any pre-ideas of what we should do. And I think that was great. Like, I was like, this is wild, like, what, no. And I remember we were starting, I was like, do you want us to do anything in particular? He said, no, just be yourself.
There's a lot of be yourself in it. To be honest, I want the musician to be themselves. I don't want them to play like anyone else or try and be a copycat just to be on the ball that day. I want the organic, natural side of the musician.
What is going through your head, if you could try to describe it, like when you are improvising with other musicians?
Right.
Like is there a thought process? Is it just completely without thought?
Generally, I like when I'm improvising on the day of the recording session. Generally, I want to be in non-thought. That's where a lot of meditation and other things come into. But leading up to it, there's a thought process. It's a process. It's definitely 100% a process. It isn't like just a bunch of guys getting off the field and just walking into the room and just making up as we go along. There is like something being built in my mind coming up to it. If it isn't concept, it's the way I'm going to play. During the way I'm practicing at the time, I'm going to be thinking about, okay, that's something to think about for the recording. This is that's something I won't be playing for the recording. You know, so there is a process, definitely.
That's fascinating. I'm just so interested by your ability to improvise. I think it's amazing.
Awesome, man.
Okay, so you touched on, like you mentioned meditation there. Do you think there's a similarity between meditating and improvising, and has that influenced how you play at all?
Definitely. Like, I've done like a lot of different albums without meditation. I've done like mad albums, like where I've tried all sorts of different things and processes before it. I find meditation is the best way to get you in the moment, and ideally, the way I see improvisation, it is about creating in the moment. So yes, it definitely is a great way to set you up and get you in that mindset. It gets you in the zone. That's what I think. And what meditation does is develops you to be more in the zone in general in life.
And next thing you start playing, and I start playing, I think, and my hi-hat wasn't even set up. I remember like thinking, oh my God, like, you know, the drums are totally, you know, symmetrically set up. We just started playing and it was great. Like, it was like going on a journey. It was very, I think that recording for me was very spiritually fulfilling. I think it was like going on a 2-hour meditation, a retreat. It was very deep thinking and very deep thought. We didn't do a lot of talking, and it was some really beautiful moments, and it was very fulfilling. I really enjoyed it. So, and then the next time I done an album with him called A Great Conjunction, and that was Dave Redman on bass, a great bass player from Dublin, me again, Adam and Martin Drennan done the sound again that day, The Great Conjunction, and that was wild again. I remember I started this drum and bass groove, jazz, drum and bass, and it was great.
This music is like jumping out of a plane and hoping your parachute opens. New approach. Flow. Opening up new doors. Instinct.
He's a great guy to play with. He's a great musician. And then the next time we done another album called This Is Irish Jazz. And that was wild. I remember Adam was going around the room like shaking and vibing, and I was like playing my arse off, like, and it was sweat like literally dripping off me onto the drums. I I was literally beating them to death. Mightn't sound like it, but it's just great playing with Adam.
Challenge yourself and have that battle in the music. Make it visible so you know you're being real. Real jazz. This is Irish jazz. Playing what you already know won't help you grow.
It's like going on a journey, and he's asked me a few times since to play, but I've just so many other commitments, and I just don't have the time. But if I had the time, I'd be at Adam Nolan's house every day, playing on the street, recording, just playing all the time with him as much as I could, because he's a great musician to play with, and he doesn't put you in a box, and he allows you be you. Like, he's the kind of guy that looks back, and he'll look back at you and look at you, have you got any more to offer me? You know what I mean? Usually I overplay, so everybody I'm playing with is like trying to calm me down, and Adam's the kind of guy that will turn back and say, is that all you got? Like, and I heard Dennis Chambers say a thing one time. John McLaughlin was like that. He was looking back and he was like, Dennis had played his ass off all night, and John McLaughlin was looking back. The great John McLaughlin of Vision Orchestra, John McLaughlin, was like, is that all you got? Give me more. Like, and Adam is that kind of guy, and that's the guys you want to play with. Like, not these watered down mamsy-pamsy jazz musicians that are so fucking afraid. Like, Adam is like balls to the wall. Not all these recordings are very sympathetic, but in general, probably playing like me, I bring that out in him because I have that wild personality, maybe, and the two together. Adam is like, and I think it's great. Like, he's in there meditating. We come in, and we like don't know what to play, and he's like, "Don't talk, just play the music." And I think that's great. Like, he's like, it's like something that you'd read, like Miles Davis did, or Kenny Garrett, or one of these guys, you know what I mean, or John Coltrane or whatever. And I think that's what's great about him. And again, how would I describe Adam as a player? First of all, I'd say he is a great musician. He can play kind of everything. You could play anything and he could play to it, no matter what you play. Because I played a lot of different weird timings with him and odd meters, and he was straight on it straight away. You can be yourself with him. That's what he wants. He wants you to bring your own unique personality to the music, and that's pretty rare, because most of the time people want you to do a job, and Adam wants you to be yourself. And that's what the great band leaders do. They bring the best out of individuals. It's like Steve Jobs will say, or will say, like, a great coach, like, you say, I'm very into sport, I coach a lot of kids. Johan Cruyff had a vision, but he gets those players to do what he wants them to do. It's the same way with Adam. Adam gets you to, he has a vision, and he hires the guy that he thinks will do the job on his different recordings, and he hires a lot of different people. And the other thing, going back to this, is Adam is self-finances all his own music, and I think that's really noble. He goes out and he pays everybody. He always paid me really well. Like, I think it's very noble that he's consistently self-financing his own music, and he's doing music that is not the most commercial music in the world. Now, Adam is the kind of guy, he's very talented. He could easily play really commercial music in the morning.
I'm always looking for something different, looking to be authentic and fresh. Every album is different. As a sax player, I'm trying to express myself in a raw form. I don't want to sound like other sax players or repeat famous licks and lines. I want to talk about my own story. God, it's been wild.
Adam was always the guy that, like, when we were younger, would just jump headlong into things, you know? Like, if there was something that we were a little bit scared to do, Adam would just go for it. Whatever it was, like, if we were like, oh, maybe we shouldn't swim in that, Adam was already gone. Oh, maybe we shouldn't jump off this, Adam would jump off it. Not always in a reckless way, but, like, he was either showing us that it was safe not to be scared, or just testing it out for us in general. And, like, that's how I see Adam and his art, because he's an artist. He's not just a musician. That's what he's doing. You know, he's out there. He's pushed the boundaries. He's showing us. He's out there. He's pushing his boundaries, and he's just not scared. He's just not scared.
Insane game. Can't believe how the shit people waste their time with. The jealousy and boredom turns bitterness into it. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I fucking know ya. Oh yeah, yeah. Green-eyed monsters, stay out of my way. Snake eyes scan your body and mind. It's no face conflict on your energy and time. You can't beat the shield. These fucks, cause if you blow the fuse, you lose. Snakes know it too well, so stay high while they try to drag you down to the grudge as well. Man, kick that fucking demon back down to hell. You're right. Kick that demon back down to hell. Kick that demon back down to hell. Kick that demon back down to hell. Kick that motherfucking demon back down to hell. Kick that 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 motherfucking demon back down to hell. On the mic, ready to rock this shop. Anaconda eyes and a roll like a croc. Dino supreme with TikTok. Not finished, no clocks. I'm jumping cause I'm so free, oh. Let me trick your mind to see if you're the one for me. So we be living in a love supremo. It's all a big game. I used to chase fame, now I know it's the same. The legend will be televised.
As a sax player, I would say Adam has a huge facility, a technical facility on his instrument. He's a great sound, a great tone. He has always great dynamics, louds and softs. His lovely feel. And he also can play through obviously traditional jazz changes as well as playing free jazz and, you know, stuff like pop music and blues music. So he's an appreciation for a wide array of music. So he's not pigeonholed or stuck in one area in terms of expressing himself. He's full spectrum. So he's not just your typical jazz musician who is playing through standards all the time. He takes chances and he does play free a lot. And because of that, I would say as a band leader as well as a sax player, he's fearless, because he goes on stage not knowing what he's going to play or not having any preconceived ideas and just reacting to the moment.
Out of all my albums, Prim and Primal done probably the best when it comes to getting reviews and notice. Yeah, Prim and Primal got all the reviews. I started working with a promoter, Jim Igo, at that time. He was based in New York, and sent him on the album, and he just sent it out to so much people, and it got so much reviews. All those reviews are there on my account, and yeah, it really gave me a stepping stone outside of Ireland, and it actually helped me find Brian Caston in New York, because I was reviewed by a reviewer called Dick Metcalf, and he talked about how he'd love to hear me play with Brian. So that was how Are You Free ended up happening, because of that. So it opened up some cool doors, you know, and they still do. You know, it was worth doing. How are you, man? You look comfy.
Get in touch with the ground as much as possible.
Yeah, the way to do it these days. Spend too long up in the sky.
Balance of both, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. Podcast number 4. Prim and Primal after the recording session. So I'm here today with Dominic Mullen and Derek White. This was a great session today. Really enjoyed it. Like all my podcasts, this is done in one take. We're just going to see where it goes, and just talk a little bit about the session today. I was on alto, Derek on double bass, Dominic on drums. So yeah, how did you find it, lads? Any thoughts about it, or anything that kind of sprung to mind, you know?
I was saying earlier that I tend to get hired to play in musical situations where everything's very structured, you know, either from like corporate things to jazz projects, but you know, you're playing written music generally. Derek would have more experience with free music, I would say. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
But I love the liberation of it, you know, it's just total freedom, you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
And you give us visual imagery to kind of give us some kind of sense of where to go. And I'd swing between trying to have that in my mind. For example, you mentioned Apocalypto.
Yeah.
And like being chased in a jungle.
Yeah.
So that was a very strong image to have. So I swung between trying to keep the image in my mind and completely empty.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
It's a nice mix, like, to not be like controlled by the image, but also have your own freedom as well, which is lovely, you know. They're nice kind of cues, I guess. They're nice. They help kind of ground me sometimes. I use images in my mind and colours sometimes and shapes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, like, I am trying to break away from it as well. But today I think was really nice because there was like scenes were definitely created, and a sense of something actually happening instead of just it all being up in the air. Free jazz, this was definitely more of there was something really going on there. And
there was good moments of it all being up in the air too, though.
Yeah, well, there was definitely, but it was eventful. Like, it wasn't just kind of confusion, you know what I mean, by that kind of up in the air stuff. Like, just random kind of, whoa, where are we? It was quite. There was a lot of ground to it, you know.
For sure.
I don't think there was ever a moment where we were stuck.
Yeah.
I think we always seem to know there was always some sort of compositional thing there, where even if like something, not a lull, but if there was ever a moment where like it broke down a little bit, I think we knew either finish it here or there might be another area to go to.
Yeah.
So that was good. It was difficult because Dominic, I don't think you and me have played much free stuff.
We haven't played enough together in general.
Well, we haven't played much together actually in a long time.
I wouldn't say much, but we just haven't played enough.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
That's true.
Let's just change it up a bit. tussle. They're in the smoking area. Cool. That magic carpet is all over the place. Just whoa. Prim and Primal was probably my most successful album. I put the most amount of money into that. And that's what I realised a lot is it's all about money, unfortunately. The more money you put into something, the more you get out of it. And with Prim and Primal, that was absolutely funded, you know. I did a funded campaign at the time, and I had a promoter, Jim Igo. He got me loads of reviews. He was based in New York, so he got me tons of reviews all the way to Russia, Japan, France, I think Poland was there. There was loads of different reviews from different countries anyway on that album, and the United States was one of the main of them, so it was pretty cool. And yeah, it was a good experience, that album. It was a good experience. Episode 21. So today I'm joined with Derek White on bass and Jason McNamara on drums. It was a really cool recording session. One of the easiest recording sessions I've ever done. Don't know what it is. It's beautiful weather. No, it was just very easy going, very flowing the whole way through. So yeah, what did you think of it, guys?
Thought it was great. Yeah, it was very easy going. I think kind of locked in pretty quick.
Yeah,
Just kind of on the same page, which is really important. If that's not happening straight away, then you've got to deal with that.
yeah,
That becomes another issue. So that was really good. That everyone was just yeah, everyone's ears were open straight away, and we're just listening, and yeah, makes everything much easier.
yeah. I found like there was no kind of like like that kind of, there was no real awkward tension or anything. It was just kind of easy going as soon as we started, you know. As soon as like everyone arrived, it was just like, I don't know what it was. It was like I said, it was a very easy session.
Well, we had a car journey, so that was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could actually have a chat, because we just met really before.
Yeah, this is the first time for me meeting both of these.
Yeah,
It's cool, man.
So
Yeah, you figured each other out.
yeah. We had a couple of hours to figure each other out. We were able to go in.
Cool, man. How did you find it?
Yeah, it was a breeze, really. Yeah, like there wasn't, I didn't really feel blocked or anything at any point, really. I think it just felt like we were all just kind of open to, you know,
Yeah.
letting it flow and seeing what happens, and not being too judgmental of ourselves or anything that was going on, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's you know yourself, like straight after a jam or a recording session, it's kind of hard to really
What just
analyze
happened?
it, or like, you know. But,
Yeah. I guess like I could mention like some of the tracks. Like the first track, I found like a dice, so I just threw it in my pocket, like, and I was like, when the first track came up, like I was just like took it out and I just threw it on the floor, and like number 2 came up, so we just did like, was it 2/4? Was it 2? What, I can't remember.
You just said playing 2, whatever that means. So
No, you literally said that. So yeah. It's like it's like so many concepts when you're playing free. Like it's very, it's really up to you to interpret like what you want it to be as well. So if you literally give a number, I straight away I was like, well, this could be the numbers in my head, but it could be so many things. So I wasn't necessarily thinking necessarily just meter or like that. It was just 2 is
Yeah.
the thing.
yeah, it's always like an interesting like thing, trying to get the balance of like when you're given a direction, but also like it's supposed to be free at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like you're trying not to get too kind
absorbed
of
by the
occupied
thing.
by the direction or the criteria or whatever.
For sure, yeah. That's what
getting out your own way with it.
that's kind of what I found with the session as well, is because like I had all these concepts and notions and ideas and thought processes that led up to it, and then I was like, a lot of them were like, okay, try and abandon ego as much as you can, and just I had loads of different things I sent to the boys, and it was just, then when it came to the session I was just like, okay, forget about these. Not really it's not that I wasn't feeling them, it's just that I guess I wasn't feeling them, but the ego thing was definitely part of it. It was trying to like just let go and like not try and play right or wrong. It was just play anything.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's probably good to have the concepts in mind even beforehand. Because,
Yeah.
like if you just say let go, what are you actually letting go of?
That's it. Like,
so if you have the concepts in mind, at least you're actually letting go of something. You're actually going, no, I had this in mind. Now I'm not going to go that direction. As opposed to never having an idea.
I've known Adam since I was about 6 years old, and there's a lot that I could say about him, but there's a few stories that come to mind to sum up his character. One of which being, I remember one time when we couldn't have been more than 7 years old, he came up to my house to play after I rang him on the landline phone, as it was in the days. And just out of nowhere, he just said he reckons he knows what it feels like to die. I didn't know what to say, and he said something along the lines of, well, I figured it out last night. It couldn't be that different than falling asleep. You don't know that it's happening, and you don't remember that it happened, but it just happens, and you don't remember being asleep, and then you're 7 years old, like.
It was the summer of 2023, and I ended up taking two plants, psychedelic plants, the acacia root and the jurema, more powerful than ayahuasca. And unfortunately, I wasn't mentally well when I took them. I was under severe stress and fell into depression. I was trying all this music for so long and felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with it. I was trying everything. I was broke. It was just things weren't working out the way I wanted them to work out, and I felt very stuck. And I wanted the hard life. I wanted the hard life where you strive for all these challenges and you get through them, and then you have rewards afterwards. So that was where my head was at, which was in a confused place. And before you take the plant and go on the ceremonial trip, you make intentions, and my intentions were I wanted the hard life and the strength to keep going, not the easy path, because all the music I was doing took a lot of work, took a lot of suffering and stress, but I was rewarded. So unfortunately I fell into psychosis after I took the plant and the plants, and thought I was basically living in a cursed life. Nothing was working out for me anymore. It was just horrendous. I was seeing all my worst fears, my family dying, bad things happening, and I got caught in a complete psychosis loop of just intense fear, paranoia, and I didn't know what else to do. And this went on for about 7 months. I went back to Mass. I started going to Mass again. I said I don't know how many rosaries a day. I stopped meditating, gave up all my meditation, went back to my roots of Catholicism. It didn't really help, to be honest. I tried everything. I ended up going to knock. None of it worked. So I eventually just said, I'm out of here. And I jumped off a 5-story car park building. And I ended up breaking my back, my 2 legs and ankles, my wrist, my arm. It was 16 injuries overall. And it was pretty fucking awful. And yeah, just for the love of my family and my friends, I wouldn't have got through it, you know. It was awful. It was an awful experience, and I was still kind of believed I was under a curse after this, after the jump. So I took taking antipsychotic medication and antidepressant, antipsychotics to get me out of this loop. And thankfully now I'm not in that. I don't even associate with it. But at the time it was the worst ever. But I got some cool music out of it. When I went to America, I was still in a psychotic state, and I spent a month in America, and it was pretty cool. You know, besides being in a psychotic state, it was a pretty cool experience. Recorded 2 albums when I was there. One was The Edge of Perspectives, and the second one was Are You Free, which is one of my proudest experiences. I used all that fear and worry and so on, and I transmuted it into this album, recorded with Brian Caston and James Paul Nadian, and it was just an absolute blast. There's one part in it where I'm screaming, no more fear, no more fear, and yeah, it really was, it was so raw and honest, you know. And my playing in it was really, really cool, so I was really happy with that. You know, that was something positive that came from all this, even though it seems like quite a negative album. In a way, it's very positive. You know, it was me fighting a psychotic state. Instead of being at peace with it, I was more fighting it, you know. And it was cool to capture that. I had a tune out at the time called Ireland We Are Rising Up, which was about like rising Irish people out of depression.
I remember his brother Danny, his little brother Danny, was being bullied by a fella when we were young, and I remember Adam, like we were not that old ourselves, we were probably only 10, maybe 11, and like Adam was genuinely in tears over the fact that he might have to fight this guy, because Adam knew his strength. Like, he knew he was like a strong, burly kid, and he knew that he had the potential to hurt this person. And like, in my experience, most kids would like, they wouldn't be worried about that. They'd be glad about that, because I can show this, I can teach this kid who's bullying my little brother a lesson. But Adam was like, although he loves Danny and he really wanted to help Danny, he really didn't want to hurt somebody else, even somebody who was hurting somebody he loved. Like, it really bothered him. Like, he actually, I remember he cried. I hope he doesn't mind me telling you that. I mean, we were really young, but it stuck with me because I really think sums up his character. But that's who he is. He's passionate, he's caring, he's incredibly loyal, incredibly dedicated, to the point of being stubborn. And that all comes through in his music, for sure, and his dedication and his discipline with it. I think he really throws himself into his art the way he throws himself into everything. Some people would be scared to do that in case they lose themselves, but for Adam, it's all about the music.
Let's make sure we set the spiral in the direction for growth and expansion. The cosmic universe is ready for us to take part in the reel of eternity. It's got nothing to do with chance. Our passion is based on destiny.
Was going through a messiah complex. So sick of the generational trauma of this country. Try and do something genuine, you know. I was meditating too much though. And along with the stress of being broke and a burden on my family, got stuck in a psychotic mindset. You see, before you take the plant, it was said we could live in a life without suffering. Something I didn't buy at all, because my suffering led to all the creations of my albums that I'm proud of. I think suffering's a part of life, an important part of life. 7 months psychotic, going through the worst fears and paranoia, seeing my family die, seeing it be all my fault because in my intentions before you take the plant, I asked for the hard life and the strength to keep going. I was saying about 20 rosaries a day. I stopped meditating, went back to Catholic roots. I even seen Mary, the Mother of Christ, in a vision. Before I jumped off a 5-story car park, I said the Hail Mary 3 times. All I remember was falling. Next scene, I was in the Mater Hospital in Dublin. They told me it was a miracle I survived. Broken back, legs, ankles, as well as wrist and elbow. 3 months in hospital. Then in a month in the Department of Psychiatry. Antidepressant, mood stabilizers, antipsychotics. It was fucking hell. It was the worst ever. I don't know anyone else that has suffered more. But I fucking suffered. I really did. What did I get out of it? You think nothing? No. Are You Free? My album, Are You Free? There's a part in it where I'm roaring into the mic. No more fear. No more fucking fear.
No more fear! No more fear! No more fucking fear! No more fear! No more fear! No more fear! No more fucking fear! No more fear! No more fear! No more fear! No more fucking fear! No more fear! No more fear! No more fear! No more fucking fear!
I meant every word of that.
Hey, Adam Nolan's album, Are You Free, was a lot of fun to play on, man. It was like Adam Nolan was ripping up with his killing technical soulful sax playing with James Paul Naden. He's this young virtuoso drummer doing all this crazy wild playing. I thought the energy between those two and myself was just a lot of fun. It was this avant, funk, free, improv, rock, punk rock, groove, in-your-face album with lots of energy that went into like this new territory. It was really heavy. I mean, at times it was even kind of like heavy metal free jazz. So Are You Free is the name of the album. We were definitely free when we played it, and I think, you know, once you start listening to it, I think you'll be free as well.
So James, what was it like working with Adam Nolan? can I say about Adam Nolan? He's a fearless improviser. So much energy on the sax. He can really play up and down all over that thing. He really he brought such an amazing vibe. He brought great energy. I met him at Port Authority. We took the bus up to Greenwood Lake. Recorded with Brian Caston. Are You Free is the name of the album, and I think that that's a question that we all could ask ourselves, really.
Another story was when I was in New York. I skated. I brought my skateboard with me, so I skated like all of Manhattan. And there was one night I went to Brooklyn by the subway, and I got the subway back, and there was a black guy just on the side of the road in Manhattan, and he was smoking a joint. And I was like, I don't know how to get back to where I have to go in Manhattan, so I'll ask him. I went up and I was like, hey man, do you know where E13th Street is? And he was like, hey man, that's really far away from here, man. You're going to have to get a taxi. And I said, oh no, I have my skateboard. And he just looked at me and went, who you think you is, Marty McFly? Thought that was funny. Lord Hayden's waiting for another digital snack. Woo! You're very welcome to join. People gone so afraid to say anything wrong. That's why most of the rear end against God. But there is our revival, the spiritual survival, the war on consciousness planet, the cosmic force taken in with a focus breath, full of truth, the breath, stay in the flow. Once fall off, it's no joke. Full of truth, the breath, stay in the flow. Once fall off, it's no joke.
No joke, man. No fucking joke, man. No fucking joke.
Just your mind, body, and soul. Let your ego go. Get your shit together, set up some goals so you can tune into the positive flow. The only difference between me and those other rap foods is my mindset's always been with the blues. But I learned to steal that shit. Now I'm elevating to the next level, place called heaven, another dimension. The shit is real, other states of consciousness, stuff is just my meditational bliss. Existential, multi-dimensional, internal energetical tactics. It's a practice, the man can't track this, but the haters gonna diss, only cause they don't understand it. Piss. So yeah, I've done a lot of music over the past 7 to 8 years, and it's been a journey, like, you know, it's been a journey to enlightenment, it's been a journey to becoming a better musician, and yeah, it's had its ups, it's had its downs, it's been a journey, you know, and I'm grateful for the experiences, you know. It's been so cool to play free jazz and record free jazz in Ireland, out of all places in the world. A place that doesn't really get free jazz. It does, some people get it, but it's been fun, you know. So now I'm working on this new project called The Shaman's Adventure, which will be a name of an album in the future, but it's basically tour in Ireland with this music, and I've loads of dates there at the moment, and it's pretty cool, you know. So I look forward to doing more of this stuff. My first album, Expanding the Consciousness, that was done when I first discovered meditation, and very heart chakra based meditation, and it was a lot of fun. Expanding the Consciousness, yeah, that was the title of it, and I had Larkin Byrne, Killian Byrne and Chris Colton on that album. It was a real blast. It was an absolute experience, and all done in one take, an hour-long bit of improvisation, and it came out so well. It's probably my most listenable album to a general audience. It's one of my most easygoing listening albums. The other stuff gets a lot more intense, I suppose. So after that, I had Tuneless Tunes, me and Christian Conifrey. That was awesome. It was all about getting as stoned as possible and logging into intense emotions. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Someone said to me before when I was out busking on the street, they were like, "You're playing tuneless tunes, you should be playing melodies." And I was like, no. So I called the album Tuneless Tunes. After that, there was Subtle Hints. Again, had Lorcan Byrne, Killian Byrne and Chris Colton on it. That was a lovely experience too. And that was based on some more meditation, multi-dimensional meditation. Yeah.
So I think I first met Adam when I was in college. I was yellow-bellied, green-eared first year, and he was a fourth year. And we were talking up in the computer room, and I was saying that I was doing, it was music college, so I said I was doing jazz piano there. And he said, "Do you want to jam?" So I was like, absolutely. So we went into one of the practice rooms upstairs, and we just, I didn't know any standards at the time, didn't know how to improvise in the jazz idiom really, could barely muster the blues scale. So I was like, "What do we do?" He was like, "Just pick a few, whatever." So I think it was just pretty much a free form kind of thing, free form improv over a couple of chords. And he was one of the first people in college that I jammed with. So I'll always remember that. And I think that really speaks to the kind of person and musician he is.
The Shaman's Adventure is all about being a shaman and being on an adventure. It's a pretty simple concept with a lot of complexity to it. But that's the title of the current tour I'm doing in Ireland. And I have about 10 or 11 dates there that are going to be absolutely sick. Already played a few of them. And yeah, I just want people to hear this music. I want people to understand what I'm trying to say, because it's deep and it's spiritual. And even if they don't get it, they could think it's funny. Maybe. Hopefully. But yeah. Some people thought it was too controversial. I say fuck those people. I have no time for that shit. Yeah. Spiritual experience. Everything is changing, everything is moving, and you have to just shut off. There's a thing Buddhist monks call the babbler, which is the monkey brain. And for me, a lot of this music is about shutting that off and tuning into intuition. And the more you can tune into that, the more you can get closer to your higher self. Maybe that's all bullshit what I just said, I don't know. But I think it's pretty cool, and I try to live the music by that philosophy and other philosophies. So yeah, enough about that. We'll just play a tune now. And thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking around. You know, this is awesome. The last gig we done, there was about 5 people there. They loved it. The 5 people loved it. But, you know, to see more than 5 people here it's really cool for me, like, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for sticking around and giving this a chance. Ireland's a weird place to play jazz. There's cliques in it, you know, there is a clique. We don't want you here. I'll show up though. I'll be like, "Hi, my name is Adam Nolan, and I'm already famous. Breaking the matrix. 5 stars I rate this. Changing the whole game up, I'm not holding back, I just show up. Low road, you know your own soul, direct ticket, no toll. Fast-paced digits in the computer codex, seen it from the outside, no time for a Rolex. Working on my sound, step up my name, it's an ego game, but some don't know it. I guess that's part of the world's show, so don't try to control it. It's all just wordplay, suppose I just say what I want to say as long as I don't leave the bay. For too long I've been stuck in that mindset. Now I know this ain't real, so don't need fate. Now I know this ain't real, so don't need fate.
I don't think he's driven by traditional drivers that some musicians have. He's not really interested in being part of a clique or, you know, driven by being included in a scene, say, or part of a community. He's very much, I would say, a solitary artist with an individual drive that comes from himself, obviously. And what I would say about him is, from what I get from him, he's very, very interested in expressing himself in the moment. And that's very variable because his music is all about being in the moment.
That's my mother, everyone. You're on the new famous movie. Already famous. It's about your famous son. What's wrong with you? Where are you going? Hiding behind Lilo.
No.
You're not a child. I won't. You need to be honest.
No, I don't.
You're my biggest inspiration.
No, I don't want to be honest. Look at the state of me. I'm not going on.
Stay, there's nothing wrong with you. Stay in me. Stay at the both of us.
Stop, please. Take me off then.
Okay.
No, I'm not ready for that.
Love smoking fags. Probably one of the coolest things, like, well, not the coolest, but jazz is the coolest. Free jazz is the coolest. But second to free jazz, smoking fags. It's cool. I don't care what anyone says. I remember when I was in hospital, one of the nurses used to bring me out in case I ran away. She'd bring me out to smoke a fag, and I'd roll two of them just to take extra long. So I have another one in my ear here. And she asked me, she was like, so did you ever give them up? Trying to insinuate the conversation of, oh yeah, I've tried to give them up, I've tried patches, I've tried this, can't seem to do it. Instead of just answering her like that, I just went, no, I love them. And she just went quiet. That's how I feel about them. They're delicious, they're lovely. Lovely fags. Free jazz is better than everything. It's like, it's the sole reason that I'm here. To play kick-ass free jazz with lunatics. I love it so much. I love it so much. It's better than your music. It's better than every other type of music. Because it's real. It's so fresh and real. In the moment. Intuitive. I fucking love it. I love that shit. Fuck off if you don't like it.
I'm Lorcan. I played drums at Adam. I'm Killian. I played bass. So we recorded a few albums with Adam over the years. One in particular was Expanding the Consciousness. It was a great experience. We had no idea what to expect. As always with Adam, you kind of never know what he's going to get you to do. I don't think, well, he has an idea of himself. Yeah. It's always fun and challenging, and Yes, the great thing about working with Adam is that he's never content with anything. He's never standing still. He's constantly looking at the next project and what that's going to look like. And and it feels like if he feels it's been done, he's not content to simply do it again. He's always looking for something that's his own. A very fond memory of showing up for a recording session with Adam one time in Kilkenny, and he was like, got into the car with us, and he was like, I'll direct you, and we kept on following his directions. Eventually we ended up in a field with some horses. We didn't end up doing it there, but that's the kind of artist that Adam is he's constantly searching for a new angle. Yeah, when we asked why are we here, he said, I know the horses, we're going to play to them.
I'm always coming up with like new ideas and different things that I want to do, and it's mostly in music, you know. I don't like any of the albums sounding the same. I like them all to be different experience for the universe, you know, not just for me, for the universe to grasp onto.
Oh yeah.
Hola.
There you go, the filters are gone off the back of your neck.
Thanks.
I was talking... Oh,
just
sorry.
for my father.
Hello! How are you, lads? I was going to tell you something, but I'm not telling you live.
What's wrong?
Brian Byers was asking for you.
Who's he?
He's played classical guitar with you in...
Oh, Brian Bird.
Birds, yeah.
Yeah.
He's with Mark next door. He plays with Mark all the time. He was only asked for you at the door there.
Right.
He just went by.
Right.
He said say hello to Adam from me.
Ah, that's a good one.
See you now, lads. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's my father, Vincenzo. Well, Vincent. Well, it's funny to call him Vincenzo. Yeah. A lot of waiting around in Ireland. That's the only thing. Waiting around for gigs and stuff like that. It's not like New York. When I was in New York, you're always moving. There's always something to do and move around. Here in Ireland, in Kilkenny, there's a lot of waiting around, smoking fags, thinking, reflecting. In ways it's good, creatively, you know. Other ways it's just boring. I like to be having something to do, you know. It's nice being by the river, you know. I can tune into the sound of it. If I get stressed or whatever, just tune back into that sound. It's very peaceful, you know. Blessed where I live, to be honest. Even though I don't have much money, I'm living in a beautiful house with a beautiful family, so I can't complain about that. God's Planet was one of my favourite ones. I fell into a very confused depression after it, but recording it was just one of the coolest experiences ever. Just recorded by the river just near here, and yeah, it was intense, but it was awesome, and was really happy with it. in the end. The way it came out, the way the photo looked, it was awesome. It was really cool. So, yeah.
That's the great thing about it as well. It's like, I think for God's Planet as well, I had different ideas. Like other albums, I think they're a little more straightforward, and you could tell. But with God's Planet, it's multiple equations. It isn't just one equation.
Yeah.
It's like multiple things, and then going back and forward between those equations, developing that equation, then saying, okay, it's there. I will hint within that equation something else, and that will relate to another equation.
Yes.
Try and mixing all these, like my hands are just doing here, and I'm going mad. Like, so it's very deep. It's very, when you really break it down, when you really give it a chance.
That's what I was hearing.
Serious. This is serious shit. Like, you know, this isn't just like a display of artistic creativity to make myself feel better about myself.
Yeah,
and
no, I
display
know.
to the world that I've thought about something so deep.
I know.
Fuck that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the expression of of it's me trying to figure myself out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And beyond that, myself and other things, and pushing and pulling back.
Okay. So, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, I hear this and I feel this, and like, I love and endorse it because I want to see it happen so much, right? But the question, one of the big questions on here is why. Like, are you doing that? Why do you want to push the boundaries, and why are you not just playing jazz standards, playing even more conventional, like, free jazz gigs? Or, you know what I mean? Or
Anything
like,
we know.
Yeah, like, why are you not, like, trying to even be allowed to, like, you know... You get me?
Yeah, I get you. I definitely
That's
get
the question. Why? Like,
why?
What's actually fueling the fire inside? Like,
The fuel-
you know, what is it? The
fuel is.
And I know that a lot of times it's that it just is, and it's kind of like there's no going back now because it just is. But like, do you feel like
the fuel is? It's the bigger picture. It's not about me. People will think it is.
Yeah.
And at times I thought it was.
Yeah.
One of the things I mentioned in the press release is some people would think I'd done it for myself, other people would think I'd done it for God.
Yeah.
And then the next part is God is everything and I am a part of everything. I believe it was a bit of both.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the answer, and that to break out or to get a little more deep on that, it's about expanding consciousness. It's about helping the Gaia consciousness of this planet to develop under short periods of time, and to have multiple equations and thoughts that can stem from that will enhance their outlook and intelligence and heart, to become more emotionally intelligent, to be more in control of them, to be more aware, to be more sharp. It's to make us more intelligent, and it's made me more intelligent.
It's like it's like so much more functional than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Because like I was kind of, I don't know, I was breaking it down as an artistic piece mathematically and aquatically, but like it was, I don't know, now it's actually sounding more functional, like it's actually like a tool, like when the kind of primate, the pre-human species, the Neanderthals and stuff, ate the psychedelics and they were able to see more colours. It's like, this is what God's Planet album is going to be, that they're like, this is going to help you tap into what's coming next for these next like evolutionary years and stuff. Like that's such a turning point as well. Like
the way I feel, it's a code.
Yeah,
it's a code.
Yeah,
it's a code, and a key or a code. Maybe both.
Yeah,
and when you allow that code to be absorbed into your consciousness, allow that code or data to be absorbed into your mind, and to reflect upon that code over and over again, that's how it will lead to epiphanies and deep transformation. God.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Another experience I had was doing the 5-day fast for the Heron Co-Creators album. It was a piano album, and it was all done in one take as well, like all my albums. And I basically water fasted for 5 days, just drinking water, no food, and I meditated a lot, and had an outer body experience during it. It was pretty amazing, the experience of it all, and to just feel so light and healthy at the time. It was pretty cool. It was based on a time I went on my kayak to Inistioge from Kilkenny City, and it was about a 5-6 hour trip. I just brought myself no phone, some water, maybe sandwiches and a few joints, and I meditated the whole way. Smoked a few joints, meditated, and anytime I got nervous, because I didn't know where I was going, this was my first time going there, anytime I got nervous or worried, a heron would fly past me and would sit on a tree, then further up, and I would follow it, and I would go further each time. Anytime I got nervous in the meditation, this heron would fly past again. So this did it the whole way to Inistioge, which was pretty cool. I arrived there when it was dark, and eventually made my way to a friend's house. But yeah, that was pretty much an amazing trip, and the whole Heron album is based on visualizing that, it was a beautiful experience.
So I've known Adam for years now. We've been playing together and experimenting with music, and he's just an all-round great musician who's kind of after coming up with his own way of creating music and bringing so much emotion and heart into what he does, and it's just a real pleasure to work with someone with that kind of talent. It's always going to be something different, you know, so yeah, onwards and upwards to him, and yeah, I really hope he does well. Looking forward to seeing what he comes up with now.
Another story was the Wino Johnson album. That was pretty cool. I spent a week in Dublin drinking wine and meditating, and I brought my Zoom recorder with me and just recorded myself playing tenor saxophone in different locations. I think there was O'Connell Street, St. Stephen's Green, yeah, there was a lot in it, and it was a really special experience, you know, very organic. I had a lot of fun doing it. Highly recommend that for easy listening, you know. And it was all solo saxophone in September 2018 or 19, I think, and it was up in Dublin, and I was there for a whole week, and I just brought my Zoom recorder and recorded myself playing in different locations. St. Stephen's Green was one of them, and it was really a beautiful experience. I'm going to get up the poem that was said. I made up a poem for what I experienced when I was playing, and I'll read it out to you now. As I played under a tree in St. Stephen's Green, I got lost in the moments of the beauty and the tranquility of the September bliss. People passing on their evening walks, curiously in light-hearted smiles and surprised faces of new fulfillment. At one moment I remember a middle-aged couple noticing the music coming through the trees as gladness and love re-entered the moment, walking a few steps only to stop and turn to each other face to face to experience more than a contentment kiss, as the sound expressed something only in the moment could see. Bliss not the word, but more seeing the creation of happiness unfold in front of my eyes. Music creates a reality which may have not been otherwise. So I was going around meditating and drinking wine for a whole week in Dublin, and it was just a beautiful experience, really nice. And I did a painting then for it.
So me and Adam have been friends for many years. We go way back to Waterford College, where we were studying music together. We wrote loads of class music, played some great gigs together too. And Adam kind of pushed me to be a better improviser and a more creative kind of musician, to be honest. So I really like that about him, and I like that in terms of his own music. He doesn't care what anybody else thinks. He just writes for himself and himself only, which is great. I think anybody who's putting themselves out there and writing their own music and playing their own music should be aiming to please themselves first and foremost, and Adam does that so well. He's a shining example of that. So I really like him for that, and I'm really looking forward to his documentary coming out, because Adam's been through a lot and he has a really important message for young men, young women and young people everywhere about mental health. He's got a really strong message to put out there, and a really important one too. So really looking forward to seeing it, and good luck, man, and we'll catch up soon.
I remember the time I was feeling pretty lonely. I went to the skate park at night time and sat by the water and was meditating, and I just started rapping. And I came up with a load of raps there, just wrote them down on my phone as I was going. And yeah, it was something that I introduced into my sets, you know, spoken word and hip hop rapping lyrics.
Who's to to say the date? Who's to know your fate? Pros and cons, blame the hate. Or wait, don't try to anticipate. Do you believe in fate? What about altered states? Double dodging the bugs in the old debates in the brain. Be the funky hunky driver of your own train. I like the cold dome getting hotter, even it out as I get older, sober. Then comes the weekend, 1 or 3 or 2 or 4 or more. I'm rich even when I'm poor, speaking from an Irish heart out to the rest of the world. Applauding the next energetical tour. I still feel pain, but it ain't the same anymore.
So my first tune was called Dreaming, and it was about you know, wondering, are you still in the right dream? Are you doing what you should be doing? And nostalgia in it and all that. It came out pretty good. I was really happy with it. Yeah.
I'm too old to be dreaming. People don't believe what I'm saying, never see it, it's freeing. Stay away if the wise men say, with a grin on my phone, don't stop ringing. I'm too old to be dreaming. People don't believe what I'm saying, never see it, it's freeing. Stay away if the wise men say, with a grin on my phone, don't stop ringing.
On your own, forget the phone, no more loans. Sad that some mad big cat's got money control, much more than Al Capone. Now I'm in the sound alone, lost staying still just like found. What's a break from the waste phase? I got my respect, but I stay in the race cage. Done what I gonna do, ding do. Someone's at the door without calling you, and that's just rude. Rely on no one, unless they want you to. Can't help feeling like I'm losing you, or maybe even that you might want me to. Suppose we should discuss the things we've been through, or are we gonna wait to stay, get a little bit too close? Wind up back in love today. I gotta go away to the United States. Gonna make sure everyone knows my name.
Another time, when I was meditating a lot, I wanted to do an album kind of like Harvest Time by Pharoah Sanders, and I ended up doing a recording session, and all the other tracks I wasn't really happy with, but except one, and for months I wouldn't release it. It was too happy and emotional, and I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. But I remember going to a local brass band that were playing in Castle Park where I live, and you know, it was just, there was something just very humble about the experience. I was so hard on myself all the time, very perfectionist when it came to my art and stuff like that. But I got chatting to a friend, Joe Johan, and basically he just said, home is where the heart is, you know. So I decided to call that tune Home is Where the Heart Is, and you know, it just brought a new sense of contentment within me, and it was very much a spiritual experience. I had Dominic Mullen on drums, Dave Redmond on bass, double bass, and Carol Nelson on keys. It was a really good experience.
Adam is he's a friend and he's a fantastic musician. What I admire most about his playing on the sax is that he seems fearless. He likes to push the boat out and go outside the box. He doesn't seem satisfied with, you know, the bare minimum or the norm. He seems to want to push himself, and yeah, I respect that about him. I think that's really, really cool and really interesting. We've collaborated on a couple of things. He's played sax and some music that I've written, and I've played guitar on some stuff that he's written. And the tune that I played on for him recently is called Resurrection, and I think he got like a bunch of different musicians to do their take on it and their version. So everything, you know, every version ended up having, you know, everyone's style on it and own twist on it, which I thought was quite a cool thing to do. You know, it was quite open to let people put their stamp on his tune. So yeah, Adam's a good dude and fantastic musician. Glad to know him.
Yeah, Adam, what can I say? I used to see him on Facebook putting up lots of mad posts, and I was like, this guy is gas. But I started watching a few videos and saying, Jesus, you can play, like, you know. So eventually he actually got in touch with me and said, do you want to do a few gigs? Because I see you're into the jazz, and let's do something together. And so we did a free jazz gig in Drumcondra somewhere. Can't think of the name of the place. Juno, I think it was called. Anyways, it was great. Derek White was on bass, as far as I remember. But it was really good. And geez, we went to some lovely places on that gig, like total freedom to do whatever we wanted to do. It was great fun. And then another gig we did was in Kilkenny, and that was like a lot of rap kind of stuff, so it's kind of like funky fusiony kind of stuff, but
Flash like oceans, fear makes the doses. Reaching like motion, I'll find the world. Seems relocating the oceans. Like this is one of the beats, get lost, it's an even motion. This is conscious rap, I'm only saying what I'm not supposed to. Fast little generation carries themselves, baby. Hoping you a fool, there's a reason they all teach it. This time you will never learn how to grow your own food. Brainwash is play one, isn't that the joke? While every laugh after I let go. Best way to show you what I'm about. Show you what right, feeling soft and notice. You want to get your brains better, pay more attention to your focus. Handle your emotions, stick to what you know with strict devotion. Think what you can come there, while you be on the road. Equals always waiting for the next one to take to the short. Like the sons of the galaxy, the person. Not thinking you're the person who's muscle. Works and targets, baby, believe it's over. This is the stage is over. Songs and drugs, once you had enough, you never before. Better not be a secret, because you try to pass you never before.
Yeah, totally off the cuff. Every gig was off the cuff, which was good fun. You didn't know what was going to happen. It could be a train wreck. It could be spectacular. You wouldn't know. It's one of those things. You might go to a gig and not expect to play as well as you did, or go to places that you could go, you know. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. The free jazz one was great. Yeah, he's a mad fucker. What can you say? He's great, you know. He's what I like about Adam is he's everything's from the heart, you know. He doesn't give a shit, like, you know. He just says what he thinks, and you know, who knows? He could be right, could be wrong. That's his opinion. He can do what he likes, really. So I loved playing with Adam, and he got me to play in this other thing. There are a lot of guitar players were on. And most people were kind of using Strats and kind of Gibsons maybe, and so I chose just to use the archtop guitar, and it was really different to what everyone else was doing, which was good. And I had to listen to a few of the other guys, and everyone was different, and I enjoyed that as well. It's Adam, yeah, he's a great soul. He gives people the freedom to do what they want to do, and it always works out well. So yeah. Nice one, Adam. Keep on going, brother. Don't let anyone change it.
I had a lot of different musicians over the years on the albums, you know. Yeah. And they're all sound out. So good to work with, so much musicians. And I love changing up lineups, getting different musicians on, and, you know, having new experiences. It's beautiful, like it's like friendships, you know, because you're actually accomplishing something together, you know.
Playing with Adam Nolan is a beautiful experience, whether it's with him at home recording a live album or performing live to an audience of people in a jazz bar, in a public square, in a traditional bar where people might be really confused or completely familiar with Adam's work. It's always a beautiful and very fun experience. And for me, playing with Adam, you always feel very different by the end of the gig compared to how you feel at the start. And I mean that in a sort of therapeutic way, where while playing with Adam, you can really feel yourself sort of feeling very much a part of the music, far more than I have done with other experiences of playing free jazz and jazz in general. I really feel as though I'm processing things and thinking my way through the music and just my own feelings and where I am in my own life at that point. And with Adam as a band leader, I really think he makes it very accessible to go through different emotions and different feelings as you're playing, you know? For me, playing with Adam is a really, really rewarding experience and something I always look forward to anytime I get to play with him. And I would say I'm honoured to have performed with Adam Nolan, whether it's in places where it feels a little, you know, I don't know, like Adam's music would feel a little out of place, like, I don't know, Whelan's bar in Dublin, or somewhere where it completely fits the atmosphere of the place, like a public square in Waterford where everyone is united around the Irish Shaman. But anyway.
when I was also going through my psychosis, I ended up in Gran Canaria, visiting friends and playing a wedding gig, and I was really not in a good place. The music video that came from this was pretty much the only genuinely bit of happiness I was feeling that whole experience. It was very tough. I was very ungrounded and mentally unwell. But the song All My Love came out, and it was actually hilarious. And I programmed it all on the computer. And yeah, it's cool. It's like something out of Vice City or something. It was a great experience, you know.
Why won't you speak to me? Baby, why won't you feel me? 'Cause all my love comes from your heart, and I'm driving faster than stars. Losing my mind, waiting all this time just for maybe. Can't let this life without your name. I made all the mistakes. You know, I'm so very sorry. I'm really not that rude.
I sit here and talk for hours about more hours about the free jazz process and his approach to the free jazz process.
Mhm.
If he even has one, which sometimes it doesn't feel like, which is a good thing, because it isn't like the cliche of the free jazz thing. I think how we were talking about earlier is that like usually the free jazz thing being, or historically, like a lot of it kind of like shock factor of like, oh, we can do this, and we kind of lean into that, but there's like something just very musical about the way Adam approaches it.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, that it's kind of untethered to other things or to other styles. Because even though I think we're all in some way aware of the tradition that we're kind of coming from, it feels like we're not really focused on that.
No.
And it really feels like we're playing like his music,
Yeah.
our music, in which there's kind of an infinite amount of possibilities in. Like sometimes we'll play something and it's kind of very harmonious or just like simple or consonant, and with that same feeling then we can be creating some absolute kind of noise or something. But yeah, it's coming from a place of kind of exploration, I think, or curiosity, or trying to come together for the sake of that, you know?
Yeah.
And then the music is maybe kind of a reflection of that, you know? Like I remember playing gigs and it's, you know, we've had two drummers maybe, and the gig was meant to be with one drummer, so then there's this extra kind of uncertainty in a way, but also just energy of how does this all work together, and with these extra people, or the combination of all the people, it results then in kind of the honest meeting of all of us. Which is a very surprising kind of experience or result musically, because you don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And even though we know each other and we've played together, maybe in different scenarios or even in a similar situation, it's always a different thing.
I was also in the Department of Psychiatry for a month, and that was not great. You know, I didn't really have a great time the first week I was there. I was in a really low place, suicidal thoughts. It was just really bad, and I was in bed a lot, and yeah, they gave me medication for psychosis, and then it started to kick in. I was praying, I was doing everything I could to try and get out of this state, and yeah, I ended up staying there for a month, and I don't ever intend to go back there again. It was an experience, but yeah. So now, like, I'm in a good place, thank God, and I've been doing a lot of music, working on different things, and gigging a lot, and recording a lot. I recorded a new album just a couple of days ago, and it's called Tribal Chaos, and it has 2 drummers on it, 2 drummers and 1 saxophone, and this was inspired by when we went down to Cork. Christian Conifrey and Owen Conroy were the drummers, and we played on the street. Couldn't get a gig down there, so we just played on the street. The whole street got full of people, and people were just looking at us, giving us money. It was really, really cool. It was like, and one of the videos is on TikTok of a local mad lad dancing to it, and it got like 56,000 views on TikTok. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But that's what inspired this recording session. So do check it out. It's pretty cool. So my own name is Adam Nolan. I'm a free jazz saxophone player and composer. Tonight I have Christian Conifrey on drums with me. We do other gigs, we do trios, we do quartets, quintets, but tonight it was such an intimate venue, I said we do a 2-piece. And it's kind of relevant because the day before yesterday, we did a new recording session, and it's called Tribal Chaos, and it was absolutely insane. We had 2 drummers and 1 saxophonist in the recording studio, and this stemmed from what we did in the Cork Jazz Fest.
So, yeah, it's been very fun playing with Adam over the years, mainly just because he's such a big pusher of free jazz and improvised music, which just comes from the belief that anyone can get behind it, and he'd have us, you know, play in like local bars or in restaurants, where he just go to us, will we just improvise the whole gig instead of, you know, playing jazz standards, and it's not necessarily in like a fuck you, this is what you're getting, we're gonna play what we're like, take it or leave it kind of way. Actually no, it is a bit of that. It's definitely a bit of that, but also just out of almost like a respect for the audience, that they'll be able to enjoy it on some level. Like, it doesn't take a sophisticated ear to appreciate what we're doing with Adam. Like, even though we're pouring our heart into a lot of it and it can get really intense at times, we're also just there making nice sounds and interesting noises. So yeah, that's been my experience with Adam. Well, a small part of it. Yeah, I think it's really good that there is someone like Adam here, just to be that person for free jazz who just believes in it relentlessly. Yeah, not many people are going to do that.
Keep speaking, keep living. Internal nonsense ain't a vision. Open your heart to get rid of the fear. Once it starts, you keep it coming. Real improv, new style. Freedom of expression is now the new way, and it don't mean the opposite. Continuous flow, forever growing and changing. Give us jazz, hip hop, and grunge. Always on the wrong side of the road. Got a chance in your arm to take down important guns. Everyone trying to be so flashy and perfect. Where's the great checklist? Where it changes and the old news remains the same. Submit to the music to see what you might be missing. The colors, the shapes, forever laughing. All makes parts. Easy as you make, just remember not to fake. It'll be some sort to stick out like a little glow. Something's in that brain, but I just laugh and nod to those guys for the joke. Then again, those guys aren't the ones that are broke. Get me a place to stay, cause I have no one else to bring my day. Give me some real pay, cause I'm never gonna take.
But yeah, as in I think whenever we finish a piece, it always feels so clear and kind of resolute that this is the this is the ending of the statement, even though the statement was this. Like you can't even process it as it's happening because you're just going from idea to idea and trying to be present. And if you were thinking for a second during it, you might go, "Oh, does this work or does this?"
I don't think you can think.
Yeah,
there's no way you can think. But there's that nice thing. Cause like a lot of the times, it does feel like there's kind of multiple streams going off in different directions from the get go, and then somehow it all comes together without petering off, or there's like this kind of gorgeous thing without it being pre-decided of it all coming back together, or even if the idea is completely changed from the start, and that's good. And then it kind of feels like a packaged thing, which are like sometimes hard to come across in free jazz, where like it could just be an idea that people develop upon until it's kind of like being turned upside down. But the Adam thing, it just feels like he's painting a picture without us knowing what it is until he's finished.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like he's got some control that we don't have, which is I don't think it can be true, but maybe it is, as in. But yeah, it always and kind of like trusting in him in that way.
Yeah,
which is maybe even more of a psychological thing for ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, it always feels like it makes sense, or there's a clarity to it.
But there isn't. I'd never.
Which is kind of contradictory in a way to.
But I never felt like there was a controlling element from his playing, even though he is like the band leader. There's never been like, never feels like that. It just feels like this is the right thing to do, or this is like the right decision. I just feel like it always somehow he can, without communicating it to people, bring everybody back together, which I think is a very powerful thing. And then kind of leave you with this kind of packaged thing of what just happened as like
Yeah, and if you have an idea or you
Yeah.
you find yourself playing something, he'll then reinforce that
Yeah.
or put it in a context or make it make sense or know
Yeah.
where to bring it afterwards.
I think
in a way that you can kind of.
There's like some beautiful things he's done. There was a couple of times. I remember the last time he. It could have been 15 minutes into something, and he was able to reference something from about 2 minutes in.
Okay.
And that's great because, like, if he can still pick up on that or pick up on what you were doing in that moment, there's like part of that brings it back together, and he has like this. It's amazing how he does that. But that was like, took me aback completely. I was like, because I've heard this before. Like, you did this 12 minutes ago after 12 minutes of just pure going for it. And then you're able to like completely reference something from the start and bring it back together and tie it together and like, so it all, this is being along for the ride. Like, it becomes very satisfying at the end.
It feels great.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's hard to pin down to words what he does for like music, or he's kind of always seems very selfless to the aura in the room when playing. Like, it's kind of like definitely serving the audience but serving himself as well to a certain point, where it's a lovely meeting in the middle.
Yeah, like he's trying to channel this energy.
Yeah.
I think. Which is always a very inspiring experience. He's not trying to achieve a certain result aside from just following an idea, which can immediately become another idea.
Exactly.
There's something kind of very earnest about it.
Yeah.
And very honest. And it's kind of like playing. Yeah, it's kind of like being with a child, like what you were saying before, and just that he wants to explore these things.
Yeah.
And he's not worried about it sounding a certain way.
Yeah. And that kind of feels like every time he does something, it always feels like, even if he has done these things before or practiced something in a certain way, if it's like breathing or holding the sax, it always, watching him, it looks like he's discovering it for the first time, and there's like a brilliant excitement about what he's doing. Yeah. Like, there's nothing, he never seems bored or doing something for the fact that it has to be done.
Yeah. But then again, if there's ever a moment where it feels kind of unsure or shaky, he's right there.
Yeah.
And he is leading it, even though
you
don't feel like you have to follow him necessarily. And he'll pick up on anything that you do, or it seems like he's aware of anything that you might play. And there's a great kind of intensity about the whole thing. Like, it doesn't matter if we're playing this really burning, fiery kind of thing, or if it's much more kind of spacious, gentle thing.
Yeah.
It's always very intent or focused.
Yeah. I think that's the best thing about his playing. It's my favourite thing.
Yeah, it never feels kind of contrived in a way, is it?
Yeah. But there's something kind of, even if, like, kind of, if you kind of in the unknown where he's going, it's like there's always like a nice assurance that's going to be fine because you're following.
True.
Yeah. This is like a nice, you kind of give yourself to him so you can give the music back to you. It's a nice thing. It's a lovely thing about playing with him.
Yeah, and the only kind of pressure is to kind of play honestly or to be yourself and to serve the music because that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Which kind of puts the impetus on you to, well, who am I and what am I doing here and how can I serve this?
Yeah. That's good. It's probably good. It's probably not.
Oh, you think? Yeah. Well, I'm wondering if he could do that in a more concise way.
No. I think it was nice because there was like a nice rambling to it, or kind of almost felt, the conversation almost felt like his music as opposed to like, I would have hated to give him like he's a brilliant technician, which he is, but like everybody knows that, so I didn't want to like give the contrived points about like brilliant technician. Fearless, amazing at what he does. Joy to be around, because these are all kind of like things that are just known about him.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, you know, because playing with him is a different thing. It's like very, very emotional playing with him. But there's something like you always feel very kind of like, something drained in a nice way after playing. Like you're very, I've always been like just, it always feels very spacey after I play with him. Kind of like,
yeah,
like everything being thrown at this, and now it's really, because you don't get that one a lot.
Yeah,
like other gigging situations where it's more of just the kind of plug and play, or just do this to get the paycheck.
Yeah, or just to get through the tune, or to do your job, as in the job is to give yourself, and it always feels like such a I always feel very open and kind of light after we play.
Yeah.
Because it feels like to play with him, and the things that he kind of inspires you to do is to be open, you know, and to kind of let go of any like musical intention that you might have had beforehand. Like I always feel different before and after we play, as opposed to a gig like where you're playing kind of somewhat predetermined music or pre-structured in some way. It's kind of, you have to kind of tap into a flow of some sort and really connect together, even if you're playing in different worlds. You have to let go of yourself and the things that you want to achieve with it, you know, because it's you're kind of forced to to let go and try to find something new.
busy doing different interviews for different musicians on the Adam Nolan show, which I still record to this day. I think there's 15, 16 episodes. They're all on my YouTube. But I got to meet, when I was in America, I got to meet some jazz legends like Daniel Carter and Tim Byrne, Ayumi, Ishito. Who else? Yeah, there's loads anyway. And then I got to talk to different people. Michael Attias. Who else? Al Swanger. Just awesome people, like really cool musicians, and got to interview them and talk deep about jazz and philosophy and jazz philosophy. It's been amazing to do that, you know, and really connect with these different musicians that are amazing, like some of the best in the world, like, you know, and just that's the kind of great thing about free jazz. It's a humbling experience in ways, because you know, you get to talk to the musicians that, you know, are so advanced, but they're just normal people, you know. They don't have red carpets under them and egos. They're just happy to talk about their music, you know, and they never stop fighting for it, you know. It's something beautiful, you know. Yeah, it's been really cool now. Daniel Carter was awesome. It was so cool talking to him, and yeah, Tim Byrne too. He was awesome. He's funny. So yeah, and Michael Attias was just a delight to have on the show. He was just super. But the first episode of it, I had a local band called the Donnies, which I'm good friends with now, and that was probably the funniest episode out of everything, you know. That's us. That's what we're about.
We're about bringing joy to the world.
Yeah. About bringing joy through rock and roll.
Changing
shit,
man. Of course.
Cool.
Gotta get that shit out there, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think mostly, actually, the youth nowadays are getting a bit sick and tired of the, you know...
I'm getting sick and tired of the youth.
The singer-songwriter kind of bollocks that they've been fed through, you know...
True.
And they're just getting a bit sick of it, I think.
Brainwashing
They want something more now, and they're kind of looking back
Yeah.
to the old days of
I can
rock and
see
roll.
you kind of like have a bit of a, maybe would it be fair to say like a 60s, 70s kind of.
So it's I was born in the wrong era, so
Yeah, no, I think I was.
Yeah.
I was born on the wrong fucking planet. I was kind of half in my psycho. This was just before I went psychotic. I was just kind of half in my psychosis when that started, so I was on the edge, and I was very funny in it, and the lads were hilarious. But yeah, that was a trip. That was an experience. The first episode of Adam Nolan Show. Check it out. All this stuff is on my YouTube, guys. So yeah, what an experience. What an experience. I just want to say thanks to Martin Drennan, the recording engineer and really good friend of mine. He recorded most of the albums and has made this dream possible. You know, he didn't want to be on the video, he's camera shy, but I just really wanted to thank him for his love, his care, and everything he's done for me over the years. So it's been really cool being friends with him and you know, just hanging out and all that, you know. So yeah, I wanted to say, for people that are having suicidal thoughts and in a very bad place, go to your DOP, go to your doctor and tell them exactly how you're feeling. Be honest with them. This is how you could end up in the DOP and get medication to take you out of your either psychosis or the bad state of mind you're in. It's very important, because this is how you save your life. And yeah, no one is perfect, you know, and if you're able to just have the balls to just say, fuck it, I need help, that's a great thing, you know. And you have to just let go of the ego and just say, I need help. And yeah, so do that and change your life, you know. So